So it is extremely hot in this house right now, and my brow is pretty sweaty, but one of the contributing factors might be this incense that I have. You can kind of see it slowly melting steam up in the air. Yeah, so I've been trying to think of what's going on as of recent. That's been a problem because I feel like my ideas have been I've been having to channel things, and I'm not so good at doing that. So we've talked about 1.5 million things, but as far as like my output, really what I've been doing is just watching Beavis and Butt-head. And, the whole thing about that is now I've actually learned a thing or two about them, because when I first saw the show, I thought that all they did was just watch television, because the way that they talked about them, they said that they were, losers who were just stupid and had nothing to contribute to anything, whatever you want to say. But, as I realized, they actually do things, but most of their content just consists of like pranks and, just being hoodlums and that sort of thing. It's not really so much that they're, maniacal or anything like that. It's just more that I think those characters enjoy causing problems. That's just all. It's just like the junior size version. It's never stated as to whether or not, when they got older, if they'd be out committing crimes, but, it just deals with those sorts of situations. So, but half the stuff that they did, I don't really see a problem in what they do. Like the various stunts that they pull. One of the ones I remember is where they hop in a big, like a monster truck tires or something, and then roll down a hill. That's not so bad, just as long as, it doesn't cause chaos like it did in the video, or like it did in the thing. But, half those things, I think, just like when they go to the gas station and they eat nachos, there's just nothing truly wrong with having activities. It's not really depicted as some sort of insult to watch television and critique music videos. I don't really see any problem with that. It just, I think the main problem with it is just the difference between some of the standards that society has set. I think that's just what the example is. That's why the show is so, hate it or love it, is because, it draws a fine line between the people who are pro Beavis and Butt-head and the people who are anti. So, once you figure that out, it's not a bad show, but, of course, then you have to deal with making sure you don't do half the ideas that they do. And plus, some of the stuff, you just don't have to agree with. But to me, it's just funny. That's the whole thing about it, is it's not really hilarious in the sense of, everything they do, but just the way their reaction to this sort of stuff is, it's one of a kind. Most of the characters, sometimes I feel similar to some of the thoughts that they have, but, the way that they react to life situations, you're not going to find that anywhere else. That's one thing you have to realize, is you're not going to get that on sitcoms, and you're not going to get that on any character who is trying to better themselves and become, industrial. That's the one thing. Obviously it would have been, seeing as to what they would have been like if those characters, they're 15 in the show, but what they would have been like were they might be 14, but what those characters would have been like if Beavis and Butt-head were 23 and 26 and that sort of thing. But as to what it stands, is still nailed humor right on the head.